Teofimo need to worry about selling some tickets. He can't even sell tickets, and he about to fight in New York, and that only hold what 4,000. Tell him to sell some tickets, then holler at me, bum ass nigga.
Those are the words of Tank Davis. Gervonta Tank Davis told Teofimo Lopez he needs to learn how to sell some tickets. Let me counterpunch. If you guys can understand where boxing is going, and it's so ironic that Teofimo Lopez said it best about certain fighters. They are worried more about status than actual boxing ability. Fighters in the same weight class are looking at the amount of sales versus the competition itself. And it would be different if this was an act of selling a fight. But this isn't what this is about. This is one of the things that Floyd Money Mayweather has taught his fighters. This sounds, if you listen to him, he sounds just like Floyd when it came to fighting Sugar Shane at a certain time, Manny Pacquiao, Keith Thurman. When it came to those type of fights and people asking him like, hey, why don't you fight these guys? The first thing that came out of his mouth was, he gotta do the numbers. He gotta worry about selling tickets. Just like Tank Davis. See, if you're around someone long enough, you're gonna pick up the bad habits, and that's a very bad habit. Now, it's best, I feel, for Floyd to teach this type of doctrine to his fighters, just to keep his fighters away from other fighters that may be the best competition. See, we've seen Teofimo Lopez and Tank Davis spar before, and it was very competitive. All right, and I loved that sparring session as long as it lasted, and the first thing you can do if you want to avoid a fighter, or you want your fighter, if you're a promoter, to avoid a fighter, what you do is you create a smoke screen, smoking mirrors, and the fact that, hey, you don't deserve to fight me because you're not worthy to be in the ring with me due to the fact that you don't sell tickets. Or I sell more tickets than you because of that, I don't need to fight you. But what does that fighter do? He fights someone that nobody fucking heard of. Pitbull Cruz. Who the fuck is that? Counterpunch. So at the grand scheme of things, matter of fact, I'll give you another example. Right? Josh Taylor. Oh, nobody knows who the fuck Josh Taylor is. But I mean, you went to 140 to get a Cracker Jack belt from a fighter that hasn't been tested, Mario Barrios, mind you. And then you disrespect the undisputed champion there and say he's a nobody. And then you bring up ticket sales. Okay, that's the same thing. It's no different from what Errol Spence and Derek James used to preach at Terrence Crawford. He got to sell some numbers. He don't even sell no tickets. He can't even sell. That ain't even no sellable fight. They do that because they're worried about getting beat. Okay? Or they do that, or promoters do that to keep their fighters away from dangerous fighters. See, what difference does it make if you make, or you create or sell more tickets than that other guy that's your rival when you're doing nothing but fighting fucking bums anyway? It makes no sense. So why don't you have that same spirit? If that's the case, you shouldn't fight anybody if nobody sells tickets like you. It makes no sense. It just keeps you from the best fighting the best, or it keeps these guys from fighting each other. And it lets you know what Floyd is doing. Floyd is the type of guy that if he had his way, which he has his way with Gervonta Tank Davis, put him in there with anybody that he wants to put him in there with. Because look, even Rolly Romero, and that's a sad it didn't happen because I wanted to see his ass beat, but he didn't deserve a shot at Tank Davis. He was just another cherry pick. Don't get it twisted, people. Please don't. Do not get this shit twisted. Okay, so Rolly Romero just talked his way into a situation, and his lifestyle, I guess, allegedly got himself out of the same situation that he talked himself into. Okay, but look, make no mistake about it. These guys come up with ticket sales and followers and this, that, and the other. They bring that shit up because they're been taught that. And Floyd knows if Teofimo Lopez fought Tank Davis, there would be no outcome or no definite outcome that Tank Davis would win that fight. Period. Okay, and then Floyd knows that. Floyd knows that, hey, there are other dangerous fighters that are not in my stable and I can't do shit about it. So I'm going to preach to my fighter about numbers and ticket sales to make my fighter think that he is so important or more important or above that guy to fight them. That's all you have to do. Like, man, why you want to fight him? He doesn't even bring good numbers. Okay, neither does Mario Barrios. Okay, so what's your point? Neither does Pitbull Cruz. What's your point? Again, it's all bullshit to sell tickets. Tank Davis, it might have been look, if it was a situation where it was skill that was involved. Oh man, he can't even punch, or he can't take my punch, or he can't beat me in the ring. He can't win. He'll know he'll lose. I will beat him 10 times out of 10. Those are fighting words. Okay? Those are fighting words, not, oh, he don't know how to sell tickets. Tell him to sell some tickets first. Yeah, it was a diss, but it wasn't a proper diss, and it wasn't an authentic diss. That was a Floyd Mayweather diss. That was Floyd talking through Tank Davis. That's exactly what that was. Make no mistake about it. If Tank probably had his way, he wouldn't be preaching the rhetoric because he'll be doing his own thing. And in fact, no disrespect to Floyd Mayweather, but Floyd Mayweather will always want to be number one. He will talk a minute about his fighter and then the next 10 minutes about himself. That's Floyd. That's Floyd. He's not going to change. Why do you think every so often he comes up with another exhibition? He does that type shit because he wants the spotlight back. He wants to create that power that he felt when he was on top. That's why he does that. Okay, so yeah, if Tank had it his way, he would do it. And maybe one day he would have to do exactly what Floyd Mayweather did with Bob Arum. Leave him. Why? Because he wants to fight the best. If he's only caught up in the shit that, oh, well, I made more. Really? Did you really make more than anyone else, or someone convincing you that you made more than anyone else? I advise Tank to start doing his own damn homework on what the rest of the so-called kings make in those particular weight classes of the fighters that he could fight. But anyway, that's my counterpunch on Tank Davis saying that Teofimo Lopez has to sell more tickets. Of course, please subscribe. And you guys been Counterpunch. Peace.